Today we're going to talk about the West Loop in Chicago, Illinois, one of the hottest neighborhoods in the country over the last few years. Paul Gorney with Chicago Luxury Living have a new video each week. Just hit below to subscribe and get an announcement each week when I have one. Can tell you everything you need to know about living, eating, moving to, kids, family, things to do in Chicago. Born and raised, been here 30 years, helping people with all this. Work with a lot of our business leaders and professional athletes commonly, and just text, email, reach out, anything you need. Definitely have your back and can help. So the West Loop in Chicago, like I said, it's one of the hottest neighborhoods in the country, both commercially and residentially. So a lot of huge companies, McDonald's, Dyson, vacuum cleaners, many large corporations have moved their headquarters to the neighborhood because it's basically a bunch of factories. An area called the Fulton Market joins the neighborhood, where a lot of the produce would come in over the years in Chicago, very kind of historic area. But this has all been developed now. Oprah's Harpo Studios were in the neighborhood. That block has been turned into the McDonald's headquarters. It's a vibrant, incredible neighborhood with tremendous, all types of restaurants. But the thing you need to know is right now, what's the market doing for January and the beginning of the year? Typically, January 2nd marks the beginning of the spring market in Chicago. People start looking right after the holidays. Sellers don't put their places on the market because they're painting, getting ready, waiting for warmer weather, all those types of things, more until, that February, March, April timeframe. So there's kind of a great time to sell your property at the beginning of the year if you're on the market, because people are looking already and not as many people are on the market. This happens every year for the last 30 years. It's a little bit more predominant, a little more accentuated this year because of COVID. So there's about last March, sales were down 30%, actually 40% in the month of March in this neighborhood and the surrounding neighborhoods. So now there's about a 30% increase at the beginning of the year, 30% more activity. Even with that though, it's still a buyer's market typically. There's some exceptions where there will be some units that have multiple offers because they're just priced better. They're in better buildings, they're more in demand. So there will be some multiple offers and quick sales sprinkled in here for sure. But overall, the numbers show still a buyer's market more than a seller's market for sure. The West Loop is a strong area with a lot of condos. Most of the condos for sale are under $500,000. That's the majority of the market. Currently there's over 200 units for sale, but the majority of them are under $500,000. Above the luxury market in the West Loop is pretty darn active. There's buildings that are just being completed now that have been completed in the last 5 years, and these are beautiful units between 3,000 and 5,000 square foot, anywhere from 1.5 million up to, there's about 5 of them close to 3 million, between 2 and 3 million. The assessments on these can get pretty crazy sometimes. $1,500 a month in one of the buildings for a $3 million unit, but a lot of the other buildings are typically between like 400,000 and 700,000. So what you want to know is you can easily overpay right now if you get kind of all crazy about one particular unit and bid it up over asking too much. I've seen this before over the years with the different market cycles, and so you kind of have to pump the brakes a little bit, be careful, because you can end up selling 3 to 5 years from now, which is typical for a 2-bedroom condo, and you can end up losing money. $20,000, $40,000 gone. Can happen real quick, and it's all about your entry, like what you're buying it for when you go in. So you want to really look at, does it make sense? And maybe just wait a minute, buy when the inventory is a little higher, and when there's there's more on the market when more of the sellers have come on, and it's even more, hopefully, a little bit more of a better position for you. So West Loop definitely has it going on, and some of the buildings, just help someone with a $3.7 million commercial space, and on the day of closing, it was worth about $500,000 more than what they paid. It's just you can build office towers on these lots, a lot of them, so they look like nothing. They look like just an old warehouse, but the zoning and the potential for big corporations to come in really drive the price up dramatically, to the point where one dilapidated, just old rundown, train station was foreclosed on for $3 million, sold to an investor developer for $1 million, and then he's being offered tens of millions of dollars for that one property from national development companies who want to put office tower, condominiums, retail. So this is the type of neighborhood that the West Loop is. It's a pretty big time neighborhood, and lots to do, from the Green Street Meat Company to a lot of the pizza, groceries, Greek Town. I mean, there's restaurants galore, things to do. It's just some great parks, close to the United Center where the Bulls play, and great transportation on the expressway downtown to Michigan, to Indiana. You can take the Metro train up to the northern suburbs. I mean, it's just a fantastic neighborhood. So being careful in the spring market is key, just not to overpay, and realize that the bump in the market, a lot of it is coming from COVID, about 30% increase in units selling, but still a buyer's market, like I said. So anything you need to know about West Loop, things coming on the market, any questions, just give a call. Happy to help.